The morning fog clung tightly to the morning city of Seashore, casting a muted gray shroud over the assembly gathering at its heart. Citizens, weary with sorrow, surrounded the towering monument where the name Frank Shannon was freshly etched. Their eyes glued to the podium where Governor Judith Stones stood. "We gather here today," Judith began, her voice faltering slightly but growing stronger with each word, "to honor a man whose heart beat for peace, a torch in the darkest of times. Frank Shannon gave his life to prevent the civil war erupting in Halmer. His sacrifice must not be in vain." A hushed silence settled over the square, thick with grief, as she continued, pledging neutrality for Otina in memory of Frank, whose ideals had been silenced too soon. Her voice dropped to a grave tone. "But I promise," she pressed on, "I will not rest until justice is served, even if the murderer is my own flesh and blood." The crowd shifted uneasily at the implication. Reynald, her son, marked for justice. Among the throng, the leaders of the Dawn Alliance stood solemnly. Josephine's hands trembled with barely contained anger, Catherine's eyes glistened with restrained tears, and Arthur's strong frame seemed mired with an unseen weight. At the periphery, Reynald observed, his heart heavy with innocence and guilt alike. As the crowd began to disperse, he took a hesitant step toward Frank's grave, horror and despair lining his features. Suddenly, Josephine broke ranks, eyes ablaze, steel drawn as she confronted Reynald. "You killed him," she screamed. "No, Reynald couldn't finish as Josephine lunged, driven by grief, a grief twisting into vengeance. Her blade slashed through the air, relentless, as Reynald blocked and dodged, desperation etching his every move. Their duel was a ballet of anguish and betrayal under a dappled sky breaking into cold sunlight. "I swear, I didn't murder him." Reynald's voice cracked, but Josephine's heart was deaf to his pleas. Amidst the clashing blades, Arthur and Catherine rushed to her side, reinforcing her resolve. Outnumbered and pressed to the brink, Reynald had no choice but to retreat, his feet turning towards the foreboding bastion of the Dusk Council. As the dust settled in Seashore, the echoes of swords clashing faded into a somber stillness. But a new sound emerged, a low rumble, the ominous prelude to civil strife and betrayal, whispering the tragic tale of loyalties severed and destinies intertwined. The curtains rose on an impending war, born from the heartache of those who once called themselves friends.